Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and last night or yesterday during the day I went to I was trying to take the kids to a Braves game, and I got a room at the Omni Hotel there in the Battery at the Atlanta Braves Stadium, and it was really cool. I had never been before. The game ended up getting rained out, but it's really neat to go up there, and they have like balcony rooms looking out at the stadium, and you can also walk around. There's all sorts of restaurants. Here's a little clip I took so you can see it. If I can get it to play. Play. Okay, came to the Atlanta Braves game. They've got balcony rooms here where you're looking out at the Braves stadium. Pretty cool. About to have to go down to check everything out. Oops. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Okay. The market it started to go up a little bit this morning, but it's been really flat right in there. It's like feels like everything is consolidating right now. But I like to keep things in perspective. Even with our pullback that we've had, we've got close to 450% XRP return on the year. You can see all of these massive returns. We are still majorly in the green with all of these digital currencies. It's doing what we always thought it would do. Then Crypto Bull here, he's saying, look at this total altcoin market cap chart. I would say we have a massive green week ahead of us for XRP and other alts. Falling wedges are bullish patterns. So I thought that was an interesting tweet. Again, I'm not a chart guy, but Crypto Bull 2020 is, and so I find what he says interesting, and I thought you would too. Now I couldn't remember. I think I played this for you last week, but sometimes I get to tweeting out video clips and I forget whether I covered them in a video. But I want to show it to you again. If I didn't show it to you before, even if I did show it to you before, I want to show it to you again, because this is pure ridiculousness. And I wanted to show it to you because I'm going to tie a couple other things in. Watch this.
Necessarily going to start with the SEC, but it's going to start with Treasury. And as a matter of fact, when we asked Jen Psaki, the President Biden's press secretary, about crypto regulation, he pointed us to the Treasury Department. So clearly something is happening from Treasury. Is that your understanding, that it's Treasury that's going to give you guys the rules of the road going forward?
Well, I should say that I speak for myself and not even the SEC, let alone the Treasury. We are an independent regulatory agency. So that's one of the complexities in the United States. There's so many different potential touch points from regulation to crypto, and I think that's been a difficult thing for people in crypto to discern and figure out that landscape. I will say that within Treasury, FINCEN is a department that was looking at crypto, has been looking at crypto for many years now, was out early with guidance, and so I don't think that people are too surprised to see FinCEN involved, as there are potential AML, anti-money laundering, know your customer, Bank Secrecy Act issues.
So basically what's being said here, and I outlined it here. So in FinCEN, U.S. Treasury funds, Ripple in 2015 calls XRP a virtual currency. 2020, SEC brings lawsuit after 8 years of Ripple operating. Lawsuit against them calling XRP a security. Now in 2021, the SEC is going to point back to the Treasury, FinCEN, and say, they're going to give the SEC guidance. They've had the guidance since 2015, but Jay Clayton and friends did not want to take the guidance, so they filed a lawsuit. And now they have the gall to turn and say we're going to look to FinCEN for guidance. Now, says everyone taking crazy pills. Now, here is Jeremy Hogan. Here's a clip where he's talking about the FinCEN thing. As you watch all of this and what I'm going to show you next, it just gets more and more like a cartoon we're watching. It's like some absurd cartoon.
And one of the first things he gets embroiled in is some legal issues with FinCEN, where FinCEN, a department of the U.S. Treasury, ends up finding that XRP is a currency. Repeat, the U.S. government said in 2015 that XRP is a currency, which is the opposite of a security. And then again in 2020, FinCEN said the same thing. That's a tongue twister. And now we know not only this, but also that the investigation by the SEC took 30 months before the lawsuit was finally filed. And if it's such an obvious thing that XRP is a security that Garlinghouse and Larson should have known right away, why did it take the SEC and its thousands of lawyers 30 months to figure it out? And now we also know from the pretrial conference that an exchange approached the SEC and asked the SEC if XRP was a security, and the SEC shrugged its shoulders and said, don't know yet. But the defendants are supposed to know.
So that's the point right there, is we've got Hester Pierce, who is sitting here acknowledging, after the question, is acknowledging that the SEC is going to look at FinCEN. The whole premise of the SEC lawsuit against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson and Ripple is that Brad and Chris should have known. Well, Brad and Chris were looking at the FinCEN ruling. That's what they were looking at and saying, well, this government agency that the SEC is now looking to told us. So how could they, if they should have known, all they were doing is looking at FinCEN the same way the SEC is looking at FinCEN now. It's crazy. It's one flew over the cuckoo's nest. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. These people have to be taking crazy pills. And let me show you something else crazy. Because this right here, I would put, if I was one of these Ripple lawyers, I would put this right in front of the judge. So here you got Brad Garlinghouse and Jay Clayton and SEC. Their whole premise is that Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, they should have known that what they were doing is wrong. Meanwhile, this is from Cryptopolis, okay, now my macro trader. This is from back in September 24th of 2019. And this is the whole point. The SEC didn't just leave Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson with the impression that this was that they could continue to do business. They left the impression in all of the investors. In this case, Cryptopolis, who's been in trading for 30 years, so left the impression with him too. How could anybody not think that it was okay what Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple were doing? He says, do you seriously think they would allow the CEO of a company selling an unregistered security on the same stage as FinCEN and the SEC? Brad Garlinghouse, Jay Clayton, Kenneth Blanco, FinCEN. Look at this. If I'm the lawyers for Ripple, I put this in front of them. I say, are you really going to sit here? And these people are trying to bring a lawsuit and act like Brad Garlinghouse should have known. Meanwhile, Jay Clayton, and then not only that, you've got look at the cast of characters here. You got Heath Tarbert from the CFTC, Kenneth Blanco he's the director of FinCEN, he's the director of FinCEN who gave Ripple the go ahead, said XRP's a virtual currency, fund them. They had the sheet of paper. And to add insult to injury, you got Joe Lubin, who's one of the founders of Ethereum, who conducted a freaking pre-sale ICO, and these guys didn't do anything to him. You want to see something that would go against the SEC? I mean, you've seen all my videos. Go back and watch. It is pitiful. I would put this right in the hands of that judge, and I'd say, no, explain. So Jay Clayton says that Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson should have known all of this stuff, and meanwhile he's sitting on a freaking stage with them, along with the FinCEN director who gave them the fund back in 2015 and said you're a virtual currency. And then I would look at the judge and I'd say, why in the hell are we here? And then she would look at the SEC, if we lived in a sane world, and she would say, why in the hell are we here? And they would have eggs splattered all over their face. In a sane world, that's how this goes down. Speaking of insanity, here you go. Jay Clayton is on CNBC. Pay attention to what you don't hear.
The crypto market in about 24 hours as Bitcoin falls below 50K. Joining us this morning to talk about whether or not we're going to get heightened regulatory scrutiny, former SEC chair and CNBC contributor Jay Clayton. Jay, welcome back. Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
So it seems like every headline this week has had that phrase, heightened regulatory scrutiny. It's being blamed for Bitcoin's fall. It's being blamed for the way in which SPAC issuance has screeched to a halt. Is that a legitimate boogeyman or not?
Well, look, let's talk about digital assets more generally.
Okay, I can't stomach listening to him any longer. That's 30 seconds. That's plenty for you. But I want to show you the point I was making here. This guy's a threat to the entire crypto space in the U.S. put forward by one guy the day he leaves the SEC, and CNBC asks him not one question to hold him accountable at his new position, replacing a guy who left because of his ties to you-know-who. I won't say his name. And then I said, where did journalism go? There's no way on planet Earth, unless you're just carrying a narrative, that you could have this guy on your channel in traditional finance, and you don't ask, and you're going to talk about digital assets, and you don't say one word to him about XRP or Ripple and where his responsibility lies, or ask him something like this, because this is all a coincidence, of course, right? This is from John Deaton. I'm sure it's a coincidence, but in October 2020, One River starts investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum. In December 2020, Jay Clayton directs an attack on XRP, making the ridiculous claim that XRP is a security per se, and then leaves the SEC forever. In March 2021, One River hires Clayton. And there's not anybody on this planet that can read that and not smell a rat. All right, XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple executives refuse to provide their offshore XRP trading records. SEC says its requests to foreign regulators are important. 3 foreign regulators prohibited disclosing communications with the SEC, and 2 of them refused to provide any assistance. And then this from XRP Crypto Wolf. 2 foreign regulators have refused to provide any assistance to the SEC, and 3 have prohibited the agency from disclosing its communications. The SEC later withdrew one request and is waiting a response from remaining regulators. Then this was cool. I like this. This Kevin Kennedy guy, he says, let me make sure I follow him. Okay, there we go. Just submitted my Freedom of Information request to the FCA about the information request by the SEC on Ripple under their MOU. I think they have 20 days to respond. We'll keep you posted. He says, in the past weeks, SEC has required your assistance under a memorandum of understanding to gain information about Ripple Labs from UK companies. Though I appreciate the nature of the data provided, I would instead request to see any information, including correspondence from and to the SEC, about the SEC's request for information. So he's trying to get some more details under this Freedom of Information Act. Okay, coming up this week on April 30th, this is from Dark Defender, another phone conference between Ripple and the SEC is scheduled for the 30th of April 2021 at 10 a.m. There's 4,000 people that can call into this line. I plan on being one of them if I can get in. I wasn't able to get in last time. Bun Crip XRP sent me this. I think this is what shook the markets up the other day and has had them a little shook up. Peter Brandt says, going forward, the Biden presidency may become a big negative factor for Bitcoin. Largely, Bitcoin supply will come to market to get in front of capital gains taxes, which will exceed 55% in some states. And then down here, though, he says, wow, this tweet was not intended to portray a long-term bearish opinion on Bitcoin or crypto. Bitcoin continues to be one of my largest holdings, but as a negative opinion of mega-dollar government programs, I am a Bitcoin bull libertarian. All right, and then there was this. The PayPal CEO is stepping to the plate. PayPal CEO talks cryptocurrency and pandemic payments. I'm not going to go through the article, but you ought to go read it. It's from Time Magazine. Now, this reminded me of something. Remember when I did the interview with Greg Kidd and in this clip, I'm not going to play it, but he said that XRP was the first intergalactic currency, and he says he wants to live in the Star Trek world. Well, just look at this article from 2013 regarding PayPal Galactic. PayPal Galactic was announced by PayPal in 2013 by David Marcus, who now runs Diem, the Facebook digital asset platform. So 2013, they announced through David Marcus that they were going to start working on PayPal Galactic, which is going to be an intergalactic currency. Words mean things. I'm sure Greg Kidd just happened to use those words. Greg Kidd on many occasions has said that he's a payments guy. So he's out in Silicon Valley, and who else are payments guys? everybody around PayPal. That would include Elon Musk, one of the founders. It would include, drawing a blank on his name, Peter Thiel. I've always wondered, Greg Kidd said that he was at a card game when he heard about Ripple, some payments guys. He said he was at a card game and it was like Moses coming down when he heard about Ripple. I've always wondered if Peter Thiel or Elon Musk was at that card game, because after 2013, PayPal Galactic was never mentioned again. And do you know what I really think when I just read between the lines? I think that a combination of XRP, XLM, and maybe Diem are PayPal Galactic. So Greg Kidd, when he interviews with me, he calls it the first intergalactic currency. In this article, it says, this is from a PayPal senior director, it says, from Star Trek to Battlestar Galactica, they all have currency, and they all gloss over the fact that it works. So this is this guy from PayPal using the same Star Trek analogy, and the article says intergalactic currency. Words mean things, folks. You can go listen to the clip there. Okay, I want to know, since the market has been going crazy the last few months, I want to reiterate, you need the bad guys come out whenever the market, especially when the market's up and they try to steal your digital assets. They'll try to do whatever they can to get a hold of your digital assets. So you've got to have a VPN. I have a VPN, virtual private network. I have a link at the top of the description for this. It's a 7-day trial for 99 cents for pure VPN. And for those of you that don't understand what this is, watch this.
Wondering what a VPN is and how it can help you on the internet? Think of a VPN as steroids for your devices, giving them the maximum firepower. Your devices will need this power to accomplish 3 epic tasks. 1. You'll be able to securely stream your favorite content on any device from anywhere in the world at blazing fast speeds. You'll be able to overcome content blocks, geo-restrictions, and content censorships imposed in certain countries. 3. You and your activities will be invisible to hackers and spies, even when you're using public networks. Awesome, right? But how does a VPN do all?
Okay, I just wanted to show you that part, but this is in the top of the description. If you don't have a VPN, you need it for your protection. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button and tell your friends and family to go click the link. Everybody should have a virtual private network to protect their computer and their stuff. Thank you.